Hello, I'm Tony with UITS, and I want to do a demonstration of the common tools that you see when working on telecom equipment. And all of this equipment is very useful in doing a telephone audit. First, we have the phone test set, and this phone is kind of a heavy-duty phone. It's made for working in rough environments, and it's similar to any telephone. It has a switch here for pulse or touch tone. Mostly what we use is touch tone circuits. It has a button here for last number redial. It has a switch here for ring and talk. On the back it has a keypad similar to any keypad, and it has a indicator light when you have dial tone. This will light up. And it takes a regular phone jack RJ11 type connector. The next piece is called a tone generator and probe. This is useful in finding circuits within a building. It has a switch here, so when I turn it on, it generates a tone that this probe will pick up. It also does continuity checks. I switch it over to the continuity, and I can check any piece of wire to see if it has continuity. I just put my alligator clips on one end, and I'm checking the yellow wire here. If the little green light lights up, you have continuity. The next piece I want to show is this piece here. It's called a mod adapter, a modular adapter. This is good when you're working in situations where you don't have the right end of a phone wire or something like that. You can, if you go to an office and say this would be a jack that's similar to what you would see in any office, and if they're having a problem with the phone there and you want to test the dial tones, you can disconnect their phone, plug that wire into this device, and then you can use your handset and connect to these contacts here that are around. This will accommodate up to an 8-wire connector, and you can hook on to, well, we would hook on to 4 and 5 because that would be your inner pair, and you could check for dial tone on your handset. Then to check line 2, you can switch over to position 3 and 6 because that would be your next pair, and you could check for dial tone there. If, for example, you did not have dial tone on one of those, say line 2, you could use this is a place where you could use your tone generator. We would go back to 3 and 6, pins 3 and 6. We could put our tone generator on there, put it on tone, make sure we got a tone. We could take our handset and the tone probe and go to the telephone closet and then check again. We would check again like this, find that in the telephone room, and then we could use our handset to check for dial tone there. If we did not have dial tone there, we would probably put in a ticket with the phone company to find out, to let them come out and see what's going on with that circuit. If we did have dial tone there, there's probably some problem with the wiring from the telephone closet to that office. The next type of, I've shown this type of block. This is called a 66 block. This type of block is called a 110 block. And next I wanted to show the punch tool. This punch tool, when you're wiring, you just slip your wire over these little prongs. They got little places for that. And then you can use your punch tool to just punch them down. There's a impact setting on here. You can change the setting. And also, this tool has a changeable type bit where you can plug in to use with the 110 block, such as this. And it goes, these would just insert, and you would put your wire in here, and then you would just punch it down, similar to the 66 block. The next tool I want to show is the crimp tool. This tool takes your RJ11. Of course, you'd have your wire in there. You would put it in there, and you would crimp it. It also does the RJ45s, which you use with Ethernet or Cat5 or Cat6 cabling. You would place it in there, and with your wire in, and crimp that. The next tool I want to show is, this is just called nip. It's a wire cutting, a little precision wire cutting. Some people use scissors, or you could use these. They're very precision cutting for small wire, such as this. The other thing I wanted to show is really not a tool, but it's used on, these are actually little fuses, line protector fuses, and they're made just to go on the blocks for the 66 blocks. And you just slip them on. They work in pairs. Takes 2 wires to make a circuit, and they would just slip on like that. They protect the line from any kind of lightning or voltage spikes. And that concludes the tool demonstration for our telephone audit. Thank you.